Well, howdy there. Welcome to today's live stream, and today we're going to continue with our good work. Let's call it good work. Well, we're going to continue with our endeavor to live stream and narrate the existential dread away. So, if you're new to the channel and you've stumbled across this video, then, what a strange choice for you to click on this thumbnail. But what we do here is we use our little friend Sam Whale here in DeepSeek. I know the title says ChatGPShakespeare, but we don't use ChatGPT because it's just a steaming pile of crud. And we give it some prompts, and we might tweak them a little bit. We're not going to tweak it tonight. And this was our prompt last episode, or last live stream, and yeah, we came up with this was based on how trashy I was feeling. I was feeling trash because all of our white goods are crashing at home at the moment, and we're going to have to trash a few of them. It's all happening at our house. Kids are growing up and machines are breaking. I guess that's just life, isn't it? So, and I also had a fun little reminiscence about being broken up with, at the age of 14 in front of all my friends, and I thought we'd just chuck that in there as well. So how these streams are going to work is pretty haphazard until I figure out what the routine's going to be. But so the routine is there is no routine at this point, but basically we'll try and work through it like this. So we do a chapter at a time, and hopefully DeepSeek can help. I've never really used DeepSeek for this kind of thing before, but we're going to use DeepSeek to do a chapter at a time of our narratives until we get sick of it, basically. And this narrative that it's come up with, I'm going to say a narrative. I'm being very kind. I don't want to just say, story. I could just say story, but I'm just going to say narrative. Is called The Void of Lost Thrones, and we told it to write just chapter 1, so hopefully it can remember enough to give us chapter 2 next time. Okay. And because I'm a voiceover artist as well, and so what I'll do is I will record our chapter tonight into this software here. Good old Audacity got me through thick and thin, and we'll turn it into an audio file. Once we've turned it into an audio file, what we're going to do is we're going to, possibly not tonight, turn it into a video clip, a YouTube vid, and upload it to this secondary channel, which will be like it says here, the dumping ground for all stories created at the main channel. Listen at your peril. And so what we'll do is we'll use this as our repository, our dumping ground, not to be confused with a suppository, although probably both have the same feeling. All right, when experiencing. Okay, so our prompt was this. I want you to write a fantasy narrative. It needs to utilize lore from Middle-earth, but is set in space and has the aesthetic of the Expanse literary universe. Now, how's that for a mashup? It's nice and trashy. Lore from Middle-earth, set in space, aesthetic of the Expanse literary universe. I like all of those things, so I thought, kind of like, you like beer tastes good, so does wine, so does vodka. Oh, well, vodka doesn't taste like much. So surely if you put them all in the same cup, then they're going to end up giving us a great night. Ooh, I think this is going to give us a similar result to the reality of that, but anyway, we'll be fine. It needs to utilize the lore from Middle-earth, but set in space. It has the aesthetic of the Expanse literary universe. Must have an epic vibe. I don't even know what that means. I just wrote it. Uses mature language, i.e. is not intended for audiences younger than 18. I swear I read better than this when I'm actually reading it. Maybe. So male protagonist, one sidekick. Our sidekick sounds hilarious, by the way. I can't find out much about him from this chapter, but I cannot wait to learn a little bit more about Rock, spelled R-O-K. The problem must be politically derived, and the main character is required to go on a quest. Simple stuff, right? This will be the first chapter. Must include a Shakespearian poem at some point. Needs to have a breakup scene that is very, very humiliating for the protagonist. Like I said, that was inspired by real-life experience at a water park in my local town where I grew up. and my girlfriend broke up with me. As I had bleached my, I don't think this was the only reason, but I had bleached my hair um, for the first time, and my mother, dear mother, had bleached my eyebrows at the same time, so that was nice. So I looked like a 100-year-old albino and was broken up with at the water park in front of about 5 or 6 of our friends. Like, I mean, right in front of it. And none of them broke eye contact. Different time, different time. Pardon me, just having a drink. Right, so let's do a dry read through. Right, the title of this narrative is The Void of Lost Thrones, and it is Chapter 1, The Fractured Ring. Now, we're just going to sort through some pronunciations here before we get into the real recording. If I'm doing this for work, then I would do a dry run most of the time with actual audiobooks. A lot of the YouTube work that I do, don't tell them. Most of it is cold reads. I do them as cold reads because I'm not paid very much money. So to get enough into my recording sessions, I need to be able to get through enough to make it worth the very little money that I earn from doing it. It's really just a bit of a hobby that I get paid for at this point. So, right, so the fractured ring, the Nimrodel. I think I like the pronunciation Nimrodel. I like it. The Nimrodel hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Captain Eldarian Telcontar. Now, Telcontar or Telcontar, or I don't know. I don't know really what to. I don't know what to call him. I mean, I know what to call him. I call him that, obviously. But do we call him? You could go with like Telconta, Telcontar, Telconte. You could go, a little bit whimsical with it. You could say Telchonta. I like Telconta. Okay. Captain Eldarian Telconta, once heir to the House of Telconta, now just another smuggler with a price on his head. Right, we're doing a dry run. Mate, come on, just get through it. Leaned over the hollow display, his knuckles white. The message flickered in the dim light, its encryption peeling away like old paint. Oh, I like that. The last shard of the Silmaril Matrix is on Ceres. And we talked about, is it Ceres versus Ceres? In Ceres? Ceres? I would like to say Ceres or Ceres. Ceres. Wow, way to make something sound meaningless. Say it 10 times. Ceres. Okay, I'll say Ceres. I think that's pretty similar to how they say it in the Expanse audiobooks as well. They are an excellent series of audiobooks if you haven't heard them. Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed. Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you. The signature was unmistakable. Lord Anatar. Anatar? Anatar. We'll go with Anatar. Anatar. Oh, that sounds good. Lord Anatar of the Golden Hand. The same bastard who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor Consortium. And there's our Lord of the Rings. Gondor. The Horn of Gondor. The same bastard who'd made sure Eldarian's father died, choking on his own blood in Zero-G. Sorry, guys. I know I flit all over the place when I talk and when I'm reading through this. I'm not just focused. I can't focus. I'll usually be recording these at nighttime quite late. Like our local time here is 5 minutes past midnight. So, right. So, and as a result, I'm wiped. We've got 2 kids. Today was Saturday and busy day. And yesterday was Anzac Day, one of our national days of observance, where we remember our Anzac, our Australian New Zealand Army Corps soldiers who died from the 19th century onwards, really, but in particular, there's a lot of emphasis on World War I and II, obviously. Right. Fuck, Eldarian muttered. His sidekick, Rock, a hulking half-Dunedain mercenary with a face like a smashed asteroid, grunted from the co-pilot seat. Told you she'd sell us out. Eldarian didn't answer. He didn't need to. The betrayal was still fresh, still humiliating. 3 cycles ago. The pleasure barge, oh, so we're doing a flashback, yes. The pleasure barge, Lothlorian's embrace, was all soft light and softer lies. Eldarion had come away thinking he'd walk away with secrets. Instead, he'd walked away with a broken nose and a heart stomped into the deck plating. You really thought I loved you? No, her name is Luthien. Except there's a little accent over the U, so, when I used to learn German at school, a little umlaut, which is not a little dash like that, but it would mean you'd kind of curl your top lip up a little bit. Instead of U, it was I don't know if that makes any sense. But maybe we can do, like, instead of Luthien, we can say Luthien. No, it sounds stupid. We'll just say Luthien. What a pointless 20 seconds. Luthien had laughed, her voice like poisoned honey. Wow. Okay, she stood over him, her gown shimmering like liquid starlight. Her new patron, some corpulent syndicate lord, smirking behind her. Her new patron, oh dear. Oh, you've been ditched, mate. All right, you're a relic, Eldarion, a washed-up princeling with stolen ship. Did you think I'd waste my future on you? The crowd had laughed, the kind of laughter that strips a man bare. Eldarion had spat blood, his voice raw. I wonder if he actually spat blood or if it's like a metaphor. I mean, it's up to the reader to decide, isn't it? Then take this with you, traitor. Oh, no way. All right, okay, and he'd recited the old verse. Oh, so then take this with you, traitor, and then he'd recited the old verse, the one his father had taught him. Shakespeare, from a time before the Exodus, which is the capital E, so that's a major event. Oh, well, I guess we're going to find out in Chapter 2. If DeepSeek can keep its narrative threads together. Like, I know I'm not really great with the AI. Like, I don't know much about it. I've used it a lot, but for very simple purposes, like really utilitarian stuff. So it'll be interesting to see if it can hold the narrative consistently throughout. But if not, maybe we can just kind of like shufty it along a little bit. How many chapters are we going to have, guys? How many chapters would make a good narrative, I wonder? So, I mean, usually I would expect there to be at least 10 to 12 kind of chapter, especially this is quite a short chapter. Anyway, we'll see. All right, so Shakespeare. So he recited the old verse, the one that his father had taught him, Shakespeare, from a time before the Exodus. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark. Now, last time I was like, is that real? Now, I'm like 99.99% sure that's real. Let's just chuck it in here. Let's see where it's from. Let me not to the marriage of true minds. Love's no fool. What is it? Love alters not, if there be. Wait, that's not the one. Oh wait, yes it is. Which alters when it alteration. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds. Is that the right? Is that literally the same thing? Okay, cool. So it's from Sonnet 116. Let me not to the marriage of true minds. And the whole thing is pretty interesting, actually. I never writ, nor no man ever loved. If this be error upon me proved, I never. Oh, so he's just like, let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark, or fixed mark, that looks upon tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. It loves not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error, and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Okay, cool. So yeah, I reckon love is this, and if I'm wrong, then blow me down, then shoot me in the face, I guess. I don't know. Right, okay, so used quite cynically here, because obviously he thinks that she never really loved him, because she's got a new patron. Okay, right, interesting. She'd rolled her eyes. Poetry? Really? Then she turned her back and the syndicate enforcers had kicked him into the airlock. I commented on this last time, like, that's a story. How the fuck? Sorry, but I will be swearing like constantly. How the fuck did he survive the airlock? I guess maybe one day we'll find out. Now in the present, flash forward. Now in the present, Rock cracked his knuckles. So we go in series and exhale long and slow. The Silmaril Matrix wasn't just a relic; it was a weapon, one that could reignite the lost fires of the Elder. If Anatar wanted it, the galaxy was already burning. Yeah, he said, we're going. The engines of the Nimrodel roared to life, and the void stretched before them, hungry, infinite, and full of thrones waiting to be shattered. That's rad. Okay, cool. It's trashy, like I said. 12-year-old me would have loved it. But I don't mind it. It's actually pretty cool. Oh gosh, what am I doing? Ah! I don't know what I just did with the window there. Okay, moving on. So, now, just checking my stream. Yes, just checking. Have we got anyone here? No. Rightio. That's okay. That's fine. We're going to move on. So, the only reason I'm checking is because I am on the most basic streaming setup. I've never been a streamer before the last stream that I did. So, basically, I'm using the most basic setup that I can. And as a result, I have to keep kind of going back and checking to see if anyone's here. Anyway, doesn't really matter. I might get a second monitor. I don't know. We'll see how we go. So, we're back here. Yep. Okay, we're on to Audacity now. Now, with Audacity, usually I have a couple of settings that I use, some presets. And what I'll do is I will go through those presets with you in a second once I have just got this back up. Okay, cool. Pardon me. So, right. Usually, first thing I do is, like any good student, I save my work. You probably can't see the save screen. That's okay. So, I'm just going to make a new folder. I'm going to call it, what's my channel called again? I know what my channel's called. It's Adulthood. Not. Responding. Just had a complete brain fart there. Alright. Not responding. Alright. Sweet. So, The Void of Lost Thrones, Chapter 1. Lost Thrones, Chapter 1. Alright, and I'll call it raw. It's a raw file at this point. So no hard edits to it, like no hard post editing. We'll have some live edits, or wait, what do they call them? So, hang on, we just do this. Yeah, effects. Here we go. Some real-time effects. So the real-time effects, the deal is that they are effects. No, you don't really need to know any of this, but if you're interested, so I'm just moving my mic a little bit so I can see. Okay, I've got a weird setup at the moment where my microphone, I'm in my little booth, which we'll talk about another time, and my monitor is usually vertical when I record, and that way it reduces the amount of, hopefully the amount of reflections, sound reflections coming back at the mic from behind. But because I have a cardioid mic, it acts like a cardioid mic. I'm pretty sure it's cardioid naturally. Yes, it is, because there's no other setting. I have a cardioid mic, which means it only picks up sound in a heart kind of shape. Looks like this. Cardioid. Oh, for God's sake. Cardioid mic. I keep trying not to swear and then realizing that this is the one channel that I've decided I'm just not going to worry about not swearing. So I'm just going to say fuck it and do whatever the fuck I want. Okay. Cardioid mic. Yeah, so one direction. Like the band, right? That one's probably a bit better, actually. So yeah, if you're behind the mic and you're pushing sound towards it here, you're probably not going to get much signal there. It's only trying to pick up stuff in front of it. And from the top, this is what it looks like, a little heart shape. That's why they call it cardioid, like cardio. You know, cardioid muscles are your heart muscles, etc. Okay, right. So, because I have a cardioid mic, it's not a big deal, but I do try and usually keep my monitor vertical and out of the way of my microphone. There's not much room in here. And so, I've done this thing recently where I'm experimenting to see if some of my clients will notice if I'm not using it vertically, and no one's, bumped the mic, and no one has commented on it yet. And oh, for goodness sake. Right, just keep bumping my mic. All right, so because of that, I'm going to try and experiment using it for the here as well. And you don't really notice the difference. Like, I don't notice the difference in my ears. When I narrate for audiobooks, I still use my quietest kind of physical setup of the room. Now, these real-time effects are things that we just chuck in along the way, and here's my usual suite of things that I have going on in the background. I put a de-esser in. I use an outdated, but only because they went out of business. Well, they were bought, and then I reckon they were bought out so that they could be cancelled. Basically, their product could be cancelled. I think that was the deal. That's my inkling, but I still have a copy of it. Gained through totally legit avenues. If you ever want to talk about that, I will happily talk about that. And so I use a de-esser Pro from them. I use their mouth declicker. I use their no, I don't use their compressor. I use another software suite called MuseFX, and I use their compressor, and I also use them for their Pro EQ settings, their EQ. Right, so go through this now. I don't know if you can see. Can you see this bit? Hang on. Let me just check my OBS. No, so you can't see what I'm doing now. Okay, it doesn't matter then. Basically, I am putting it to about 40% de-essing. That stops my sounds, which you can totally hear, but if you ever went back and listened to the final product, you wouldn't hear it. The mouth declicker I'm chucking right up to 75%, which is high, but it's because I've been drinking lots of coffee this weekend just to stay awake. Go to kids' party. We went to a kids' party the other day. It wasn't supposed to be a kids' party. Have you ever done this? Like, you're going to a barbecue. This is the first time it's ever happened to me. And then you get a message 20 minutes before, and the nature of the gathering is completely changed. And yeah, it became our friends' one of their children's birthday parties. And they said in the text, "Don't worry about presents," because we only decided 20 minutes ago that it would be their birthday party. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And before that, we were doing lots of other stuff. My wife is training for an ultra marathon thing at the moment. We're both runners, and I am not as much of a runner as her at the moment for a long time, but I'll get back into it in a couple of years, I reckon, when the kids are older. Do you ever say that as well? Like, oh, when the kids are older, I'll do this. Or are you one of those annoying fucking people that just goes, I make it happen. If you really want it to happen, you'll just make it happen. I can't do that yet. So anyway, because I've been drinking lots of coffee to get through all the stuff we've been doing with the ultra marathon training, going to barbecues, and we've got a lot of poultry, like ducks and stuff. I have a random life. I'm hearing myself say this stuff out loud, and it sounds weird. I'm a VO at night. I'm a voiceover artist at night, and and I am a poultry owner, and we have 2 dogs and hundreds of fruit trees, and I'm also a substitute teacher. Wow, that was a lot in a very small amount of time. Okay, so Callistoic vibe, manly, a new experiment. Okay, so I've just changed all these settings here, which you couldn't see what I was doing, but just trust me, it's now at my regular settings. So that used to be the bit that was hardest when I first started out doing a voiceover freelance side hustle, and now it's the easiest bit because I have those presets. Okay, all right, so right, and you're going to see this thing called punch and roll, which is, I'll just show you now, like, say I'm recording this now, you can see it up, blah 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 blah, I'm the best, ooh la la la. Okay. You'd think I was hamming it up for you, but I'm not really. It's just, that's how I act when I'm on my own. So sometimes it's like this. It's like, when considering your marketing strategy, one must consider all 10 of the factors mentioned in the previous chapter. And then I'll cough and I'll be like, fucking bullshit. And then I'll go back and I'll do this thing that I'm going to show you now called punch and roll. Punch and roll is where you click back, say I made a mistake, I'm listening through. You can see it up, blah, 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 I'm the best. Oh, and I said I'm the best, but I didn't mean to say I'm the best, I meant to say I'm the worst. Oh, no, that's my mistake. So I will put the cursor back to the start of the phrase or sentence, usually the sentence, sometimes even the paragraph. And I will press a number or a hotkey that I've got, which will do this thing called punch and roll, and it will like take it back I think I've set it to 3 seconds further in the future, play that through, and then just start recording straight away when it gets to wherever the line is that I put, which is awesome because it means that I don't have to go back and go separate and then delete, click, and then click exactly in the right place and then click record again. It just does it for me. So right, so I'm going to punch and roll. Say I'm recording this now, you can see it up. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. And then you just do the do-over, and if you get it wrong, you just do it again. Say I'm recording this now, you can see it up. I'm the worst. Oh, much better. Okay, so right. I think I just have to get all the crazy out and all the silliness out in between takes. That's the easiest way to do it. Right, so here we go. All right, we're going to do it. We're just going to jump in. We've done our dry run through, and this is that was the second time I've ever read through it. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm not too close to my microphone. I'm using a Lewitt Ray microphone. If you just look up Lewitt Ray, oh man, it's probably my favorite microphone. It's this guy. Oh yeah, that's how rich I am. I just buy things for lots of money. No, I had to save up for a long time for this, and that's in Australian dollars as well, by the way. So it's not that much in your crazy American dollars or UK pounds or European euros, whatever you use. But it's amazing because it has this thing called the aura effect, and here it is here. Blah, blah, blah. This thing here. Pardon me. And the aura effect, see, it's got this track. It looks like a train track, like a path. Basically, that if you move away further, that little line behind this one lights up, and it will automatically increase the gain, increase the microphone volume to match how far away you are so that your voice will stay the same, which is it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's a fucking huge deal. So it's fucking incredible. So it's, whoa, I didn't mean to click on it. I don't want to buy another one. I can't afford another one. So, and the other thing it can do is it can create like a bubble, so that if it senses, because it's shooting, I think it's LiDAR, not radar. I don't know the difference. I don't know much about that kind of stuff, but it these two little sensors are shooting a LiDAR signal at your face, basically, and it can sense when you move. That's how it senses if you moved away or moved forward or not. And it's not using USB or anything like that, or any microchip inside to there's nothing. It's an amazing mic. Look it up. It's crazy. Booth Junkie is the reason I got it. This other channel, and he convinced me in one video. I was like, that would solve all my problems. Because if you get too close to a microphone, usually then, I'm really close, and it might sound a bit different to you, but nothing compared to if the aura wasn't on. Wow, we are rambling. So, it has this other feature where if you move a certain amount of distance away, and you can set how far away you have to move. I'm just wiggling my head around now. You will mute automatically. And then, so if you need to cough, say if you do, on a gaming stream, I imagine it'd be really useful because you just kind of go, oh, I feel a cough coming on, and you'd lean away, and then you'd cough, and they would hear nothing because it would just mute automatically just because you moved your head away. That'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? It exists. It's called the Lewitt Ray. Lewitt's the company. Ray is the model. It's amazing. It's and it's got a really, it cuts out the low end, so it's not too boomy and bassy. So my voice that you're hearing now is flat, there's nothing to it, but the microphone has an inbuilt, its receiver it doesn't really pick up the bassiest of stuff. I'm trying to be bassy here, but like you're not hearing what my voice actually sounds like. You're hearing the bassy stuff. So you're missing out on the bassy stuff. You're just hearing my whiny Australian, like, my crisp, clear, high-end stuff. Right. So that was the most boring part of your day. But hey, if you're excited about listening to people who go on about stuff they're passionate about that means nothing to you, you've come to the right place. All right. So if you have stumbled upon this right now and for some reason I can't see you, then guess what? This is a channel where we use DeepSeek, not DeepThink. What was DeepThink? DeepThink was in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was the supercomputer that came up with the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And the answer was 42. Sorry, spoiler. And then they realized that the problem was not that they didn't have the answer. They had the answer, but they didn't know what the question was for it. And I love that. Oh, man. I freaking love The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series. There's a trilogy of 4, which is 4 books in that series, and they are amazing. The fact that he called it the trilogy of 4 is just my favorite thing ever. So, right. On this channel, like I said, we are recording into audiobook format and then putting onto YouTube together, you and me, whatever DeepSeek gives us based on our prompts. And here's our prompt. I'm not going to go through it again. We read it at the start, but you'll be able to read it for the next minute or so while we're doing this bit. Okay, let's get into it. The Void of Lost Thrones. Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring. The Nimrodel hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Let's just listen back to that, because I usually hate my first pass at anything. And I'm coming off to myself as... There's a technical term for it, like overflowered is what I'd call it. But what I would say is I sound like a wanker. I'm like a bit forced. Let's just listen. Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring. The Nimrodel hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her heart, I don't like that pause. From 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. I mean, the bits that I think, like, and stale regret, I think should have a little bit more of a nuance to it than just spitting it out of my mouth. And there's other pauses there where I was, to be honest with you, trying not to yawn because I'm really fucking tired. That didn't work. But anyway, I'm just going to delete it. Let's start again. All right. The Void of Lost Thrones. No, see, that's fucked. The Void of Lost Thrones. Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring. The Nimrodel hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. And stale regret. That's fucking stupid. What's this bit? Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Let's do that bit again. Under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Captain Aldarian Telcontar, once heir to the House of Telcontar, now just another smuggler with a price on his head, leaned over the holodisplay, his knuckles white. The message flickered in the dim light, its encryption peeling away like old paint. The last shard of the... Okay, what am I going to do about this? Peeling away like old paint. The last shard of the Silmaril... wait, so lean over the... is not... The message flickered. I think that there needs to be more entrance into that intercom communication thing.
The message flickered in the
Yeah.
over the
Here.
holodisplay. His knuckles
Right.
are white.
The message flickered in the dim light. No.
And over the holodisplay, his knuckles
Give
are
it character.
white.
The message flickered in the dim light, its encryption peeling away like old paint. The last shard of the Silmaril matrix is in I can't read. When this happens, when I just start reading random, like adding in my own letters and syllables, then I just kind of go, read the words, you idiot. Just read the words.
Its encryption peeling away like old paint.
The last shard of the Silmaril
Its
Silmaril.
encryption peeling away like old paint.
The last shard of the Silmaril matrix is on Ceres. Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed. Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you. The void will clear?
Fuse, and the void will claim what's left of you.
It's not bad, but now I fucked it.
Bring it to me, and your part of the Silmaril matrix is on Ceres.
Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed. Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you. The signature was unmistakable. Lord Anatar of the Golden Hand. The same bastard who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor Consortium. The same bastard who'd made sure Eldarian's father died, choking on his own blood in 0G.
Choking on his own blood in 0G.
In 0G! Fucking idiot. Okay, right.
Of the
Me,
Gondor
not him.
Consortium, the same bastard.
Oh, we can start mid-sentence. Let's see how we do that.
The Gondor Consortium, the same bastard. The Gondor Consortium, the same bastard.
Who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor... Oh, wait, no. We've already read
the
that one.
Gondor Consortium, the same bastard.
Who'd made sure Eldarian's father died choking on his own blood in 0G. Fuck. Eldarian muttered.
Choking on his own blood in 0G.
Fuck. Eldarian muttered. His sidekick, Rock, a hulking half-Dunedain mercenary with a face like a smashed asteroid, grunted from the co-pilot's seat. Told you she'd sell us out. Eldarian didn't answer. He didn't need to. The betrayal was still fresh, still humiliating. Too whispery?
Still fresh, still humiliating.
I don't know.
Still fresh, still humiliating.
3 cycles ago. 3 cycles and fourscore ago.
Still fresh, still humiliating.
3 cycles ago. The pleasure barge lost l'audience.
3 cycles ago.
The pleasure barge lost Why can't I do this? Okay, right. Moving on. All right. So let's try again.
3 cycles ago.
The pleasure barge Lothlorian's embrace was all soft light and softer lies. Eldarian had come thinking he'd walk...
And soft light and softer lies.
Eldarian had come thinking he'd walk away with secrets. Instead, he'd walked away with a broken nose and a heart stomped into the deck plating. You really thought I loved you? Is she laughing there? She's supposed to laugh. You really thought I loved you? How do you say this? Okay.
And a heart stomped into the deck plating.
You really thought I loved you? Luthien had laughed, her voice like poisoned honey. She stood over him.
Laughed, her voice like poisoned honey.
She stood over him. Her gown. She stood over him. She stood over him.
Poisoned honey.
She stood over... Read the words.
Her voice like poisoned honey.
She stood over him, her gown shimmering like liquid starlight. Her new patron, some Pardon me, just burping. Oh, God.
Her voice like poisoned honey.
She stood over him, her gown shimmering like liquid starlight. Her new patron, some corpulent syndicate lord smirking behind her. You're a relic, Eldarian. A washed-up princeling with a stolen ship. Did you think I'd waste my future on you?
A washed-up princeling with a stolen ship.
Did you think I'd waste my future? Oh.
A washed-up princeling with a stolen ship.
Did you think I'd waste my future on you? The crowd had laughed, the kind of laughter that strips a man bare. Eldarion had spat blood, his voice raw. Then take this with you, traitor. And he'd recited the old verse, the one his father had taught him, Shakespeare, from a time before the Exodus. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark. She'd rolled her eyes. Poetry? Really? Then she turned her back, and the syndicate enforcers had kicked him into the airlock. Now, in the present, Rock cracked his knuckles. So, are we going to Ceres? Eldarion exhaled. Exhaled? Exhaled.
So, are we going to Ceres?
Eldarion exhaled, long and slow. The Silmaril Matrix wasn't just a relic. It was a weapon. One that could reignite the lost files. Files?
Just a relic. It was a weapon.
One that could reignite the lost fires of the Eldar. If Anatar wanted... Anatar.
Could reignite the lost fires of the Eldar.
If Anatar wanted it, the galaxy was already burning. Yeah, he said. We're going. The engines of the Nimrodel roared to life, and the void stretched before them, hungry, infinite, and full of thrones waiting to be shattered.
Full of thrones waiting to be shattered.
It'll do. It is what it is. Okay, so now we're going to do the other stuff. So we'll zoom out here. Anyone in the chat? No. Moving on. So, right. What you may notice, or may not, I'm just going to check here. We will... No, we're going to do this. Okay, first of all, we'll save. So I've got my hotkey for save. Save that. All right, so I can't believe I didn't. Usually I'd save a lot more often than that. If it was an audiobook that I cared about. Not that I don't care about you, Eldarion. Right, so who else here talks to fictional characters a lot? Just me. Okay, moving on. So we're going to, first of all, we'll link them all together. So they're all separate little bits, and that annoys me. So I'm just going to put them all together. Second of all, we're going to do this thing. Well, usually I don't even do this anymore. I don't do the check. But usually when I'm recording an audiobook, I'm recording at least for Spotify, or I'm recording usually for Amazon, though, or, or Audible. And Audible has this thing, the platform on which you upload, if you're an author, or whoever you are uploading onto an audiobook, you are uploading onto this thing called the ACX platform. I don't know what it stands for. ACX. It's Audible. It's Amazon's audible platform that it's like your upload place where you hire voiceover talent. I wouldn't know much more about it than that. Do I sound bitter? Because I'm Australian and Australia is not allowed to go on ACX because who the fuck knows why. Probably something to do with taxation. Australia probably wants to charge them. Oh man, am I sounding really bitter and old and cynical? I'm in my late 30s, and man, when I entered the freelance space for this stuff, I used to just laugh at the stuff I'd find where like all the beginner, like getting into voiceover for beginners and blah blah blah, and I was like, stop talking to me like I'm a 21-year-old. And I was like, I'm too cynical to do this. And I am. I don't swallow shit enough. That's a Australian term for I don't really, if someone's not treating me fairly, I tend to just bump them off. But at the same time, I have really tried hard to get into it, and I've tried. Yeah, I'm professional. I remain professional. Not on this channel, obviously, but but yeah. Anyway. ACX isn't available in Australia, but they are the leading standard when it comes to how loud things are, what the noise floor, like the background hum, which is why people have to have noise cancelling. Not because, um, yeah, there's lots of reasons, but yeah, like it's to stop if there's uh, like a car going past or something like that, you don't want that in the background, in between, in the silences. So yeah, they have the standards. I'll show you what the standards are. Here we go. So here's my check. I have this special little plugin for Audacity. I cannot recommend Audacity enough. I know other people are very fancy and they use other things, all of them paid. And I know there are free versions of a lot of stuff, but I have tried Reaper. I used Booth Junkie, another channel. I used his setup course. Like he does a free online YouTube based course where you just go through and reset up the whole thing, the whole window to look like to cater for voice actors. And he is a dead set legend. Like he's amazing for doing that. But I was set in my ways by that point with Audacity, and the problems I had with Audacity turned out not to be with Audacity. It was to do with the computer that I was using, my hardware, not my software. So once I realized that, with the help of a friend, a tech guy, friendish, I just got a new computer basically, and it was all fine. So I love Audacity. It does exactly what I want it to do. The mic does a bit of the work. My interface does a bit of the work, and my DAW. This thing here, the workstation, does a lot of the work as well. So between those three things, I get away with it, and I get paid work, and that's all I would ever need. And the booth obviously does a lot of work as well. We'll talk about that another day. It is the dodgiest booth you've ever seen in your life. But so they need you to have nothing louder than, I think it's 3.2, 3 or maybe 3 decibels. Minus 3 decibels, sorry. And the RMS level, which is, I don't know, it's like your average level of noise, basically, between highest and lowest. What's your average level of noise? And we need to have it between minus 23 and minus 18. And mine doesn't meet that at the moment. People are, like purists, are always trying to get it within those ranges as naturally as possible without any editing. I tried for like 6 months. I tried to be one of those guys. I just gave up and I just use this now. So, and the noise floor is like I said, when you're not talking, how quiet is it? And 3, 2, 1. Pretty quiet, right? I've worked pretty hard to get it that quiet. So that's pretty good. Noise floor of 89.08. Now I'm lucky. I don't live in a big city, and like I said, it is 12:45 in the morning. So I would hope that it's not loud. During the daytime, I have a lot of mowers. My neighbors use a lot of mowing equipment, and there's always a lot of heavy machinery around doing mulching or stuff like that. So daytimes aren't great for my noise floor, but this is pretty good. But we can fix the other things. Did you see how it says it's not good enough? Look, warning, too low, maybe overly compressed or too quiet, and RMS, fail, too quiet. We can fix those with the click of one button, which is Tools, Apply Macro, Audiobook Mastering Macro, and I usually just use my Shift-A hotkey. So this is the last time you'll probably see me clicking on this. Audiobook Mastering Macro, it does all these little things, goes through a set pattern. In one of my latest updates for this program, it really mucked around with the audiobook mastering macro, and it took me ages to get it back to right, but we're not going to talk about my whinges. Okay, so now look, rechecked it, and look, peak level is great, 3.6. RMS level is 19.86. It fits right in that range. On the lower end too, but not too low, just in case Audible reads it differently. And noise floor is 69.77, which is fine. It's much less than it was because we've increased the overall. Remember, we've increased the overall volume here, the RMS level, and so that's increased all volume, including the silent bits. So that's been boosted. If we really need to, we can easily fix that, though. I'll show you that in a sec. So, which we don't really need to. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that the ACX standards want us to do, usually, like in terms of distance of space, like, dead space at the start of a chapter and the end of a chapter and all that good stuff. But for now, we don't have to worry about that. We can do we could upload an absolute piece of shit and put it on our own channel, because that's what I'm going to do, and that's all that would matter, right? So, let's have a listen. It'll be much louder.
The Void of Lost Thrones.
Whoa, that's real loud.
Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring.
Yeah, so that hiss, can you hear that hiss in the background? I'll move the microphone so you can hear it a bit better.
The Void of Lost Thrones.
Jesus! Okay, I'm not going to do that to you again. Wow. Sorry if you're wearing headphones. Sorry. Okay. My bad. Yeah, so that hiss is really bad. So 69 is technically 69. Okay, stop it. You're a grown man. Okay, right. So that's technically fine for ACX. Technically, it's fine. And I'm playing it up quite loud, but at the same time, it's not good enough. So we highlight a silent bit, boop, boop, boopity, boop, boop, and then we go to effect here, Audacity. I love it. Noise removal and repair, noise reduction, get a noise profile. I'm going through it quick because I've done it literally that many times. I haven't learned how to hotkey that processor yet. And then we select everything we want to apply that noise cancellingness to. What am I doing here? And there, and then usually I just go Control R, repeat noise reduction. Don't ask me why it's like this. Audacity is just weird, but it works. Now we're going to do this. It was 69 point something before. I guarantee it's going to be down to like 73 to 75 by now. So we go here again. We'll check it again. 75. Oh, yeah. And you won't hear that hiss anymore. As much. That's pretty cool.
Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring.
Cool.
The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting.
Next thing I'm going to show you real quick, just because we're here and I've got you, is I'm going to take these off. Just checking this is all still working. I'm so paranoid that the stream thing is not going to work. I know I'm supposed to be professional and be like, oh, I can make all the stream things work and it's never an issue. I can't. I'm not. This is the second stream I've ever done. So, right. So that's all still working. So, yeah, so the deal with these ones is, these real-time effects is, I've applied a de-esser, which stops you hearing like that. I've applied a de-clicker, which stops mouth noise. Okay, if you're weirded out by mouth noises and like clicks and like mucusy things, like just 3, 2, 1, warning, 3, 2, 1, that sound, that's a mouth noise. They call it mouth noises. And the mouth de-clicker takes away a lot of it. And like I said, I've been drinking hella big amounts of coffee, and that means that I am just like mouth noising like crazy. Dehydration equals mouth noise. Also, brushing your teeth with toothpaste before recording leads to mouth noise. Also, sugar in your mouth, or like sugar in the food that you've eaten just prior to it. Mouth noise, like basically, look at the microphone the wrong way, mouth noise. And there are tricks around it. One is obviously stay hydrated for like, in the 24 hours leading up to it. Don't do it just like in the hour before, but like, get hydrated. But there are other ways people just like, I've heard everything. People say like, this one I actually kind of agree with. Eating green apple, because the acidity in the green apples, like the Granny Smiths, Australian, discovered in Australia, by the way, bred in Australia, just saying. They have a bit higher acidity or less sweetness and the same amount of acidity. It's a common myth with fruit. But they cut through the mucus if you've got like a wet mouth. And drinking water as you go, little sips of water, is obviously an easy one as well to add moisture to your mouth, to stop the click from a dry mouth. There's special sprays you can get. I have a mouth spray that says it does it, like it re-moisturizes your mouth. It's a load of shit. I basically just drink water. It does the same thing. Well, it doesn't work for me, should I say. So the mouth declicker does that work for me, though. and it's really good. It's not built into Audacity. They do have one, but it doesn't work in the same way as this one. I can tell that a lot of people that I watch on YouTube or watched on YouTube when I started out doing voiceover didn't really know the difference in how they worked, because they'd say, well, I'm not going to explain it here, but like they just work in a different way. So don't worry about it. You just don't worry about it, buddy. And I'd be like, okay. And now I understand why they're like that, because like it doesn't matter. It just does it for you. Don't worry about it. I'm such a heathen. I used to know about side chain compression and stuff like that, and I don't anymore. I forgot. So compression basically like makes the quieter bits in my voice sound as loud as the loudest bits in my voice when I talk. So it does good stuff. Like news reporters put it way up, like this.
The fractured ring. The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a dagger
now I'll take it
waiting to
down.
be
Now I'll take it
plunged
down.
into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt,
Now it's up.
glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star.
Now it's down.
Inside, the air smelled of ozone.
I'll just take it back to
stale
my
regret.
setting here.
Captain Eldar.
I do a very light amount of compression because I have just found that it's based on client, response. Like they don't mind it, and it doesn't. So I don't want to be overly compressed because it sounds unnatural, sounds weird to me. But a little bit of compression can't hurt to just bring out the nuance in your quieter tail end, word tail ends and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the Pro EQ is it basically just adjusts for your EQ. So I use a particular setting where I basically take away my lows a bit, and my mids and high frequency range of frequency. I kind of I do a low pass basically. So is that a high pass? I do a high pass. So yeah, I try and emphasize the upper parts of my frequencies, it's because that. Yeah, it just doesn't sound shit then. There's a whole bunch of YouTube stuff. I'm sure if you're watching this and you have any voiceover experience, you're probably just laughing at me. You're just like, you have no idea what you're talking about. I kind of do. I just, I'm not used to having to talk out loud about it because there are 3 people in my household out of the 4 that live there that are really interested in voiceover. And those are me, myself, and I. And the other people in my house, not so interested. 2 of them are very young children, and one of them is my wife, who's had to put up with me getting into voiceover last year. So I try and limit the amount that I talk to her about it. It's not kind to talk to someone about your new rabbit hole interest, is it? From dawn till dusk. So I'm trying to be selective about it. I'm talking to you instead about it. But now I've stopped thinking about it every minute of every day because I'm a year in. Okay, so Pro EQ done, compression done, mouth clicker done. Yeah, but the great thing about this is I can turn it off. It's not hardwired into the audio. I can turn it off. I can adjust it at any point. That's why these real-time effects are amazing. Like they're non-destructive. It's great. So I can do this.
1.
This is the original me talking with no. Apart from, like I said, in the microphone, I was mentioning before that in the microphone there is a natural low cut. It cuts off the lower frequencies. But apart from that, and general volume that I can apply based on the interface that it goes microphone to interface into computer. The interface, I can control the gain there. But apart from that, I don't. This is my voice.
The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt.
That's my normal voice. Let's play it again with the real-time effects, see if you can hear the difference.
The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting.
Now, if you are not into voiceover, you might say, that sounds exactly the fucking same to me. And I would not be disagreeing with you. Because I play stuff for my wife sometimes and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really impressed. Like the mouth noise is gone. Like I'm really impressed. Like the compression was so low, but I've managed to like somehow compensate for it today. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just flying today. And she's like, what? It sounds the same. And I'm like, okay, Oh. Not that I'm an audiophile, as you can hear. I'm a heathen when it comes to audio quality. I know enough to be dangerous and charge someone some money, and for them to be impressed enough to pay me. That is basically all you need to do. But I don't know much more than that, and I don't feel the need to know much more than that. My life is pretty busy. So right. So let's just have a little listen through. We're going to listen through the whole thing from start to finish. This is the world premiere of this this audiobook, first chapter. Eldarian's quest for Eldarian's quest for the Silmarillion Matrix is our that's what Deep Seek. That's what Sam Whale, our sidekick Sam Whale, has decided to call this chat. But the book is called The Void of Lost Thrones. Okay, let's listen to the first chapter of The Void of Lost Thrones. How long is it? It's 3 minutes and 46 seconds long. Geez, we've glazed the crap out of this, haven't we? Okay, we'll probably go after this. Okay, right, let's listen to it. The world premiere. Okay, I'll move the microphone a bit closer. I don't really know how to run the audio through the streaming software yet. Give me like a couple of weeks. All right.
The Void of Lost Thrones.
Sorry, headphones users.
Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring. The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Captain Eldarian Telcontar, once heir to the House of Telcontar, now just another smuggler with a price on his head, leaned over the holodisplay, his knuckles white. The message flickered.
Hear that?
White.
It's been doing this thing where it's been doing a little weird echo when I was doing something for a client before this, and that's so annoying because I have to go back, and now I have to listen to everything just for that echo at the end of the... Anyway.
Leaned over the holodisplay, his knuckles white. The message flickered in the dim light, its encryption peeling away like old paint.
See, did you hear that echo?
Like old paint.
Do you see this little thing here? This is a problem. Because I didn't say that. It's just inserted. I don't know what's going on. It's only happened in the last 48 hours. It's weird.
Its encryption peeling away like old paint. The last shard of the Silmaril Matrix is on Ceres. Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed. Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you. The signature was unmistakable. Lord Anatar of the Golden Hand. The same bastard who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor Consortium. The same bastard who'd...
There it is again. Just quickly get rid of that. It's all right.
Bastard who'd made sure Eldarian's father died choking on his own blood in 0G. Fuck, Eldarian muttered. His sidekick, Rock, a hulking half-Dunedain mercenary with a face like a smashed asteroid, grunted from the co-pilot's seat. Told you she'd sell us out. Eldarian didn't answer. He didn't need to. The betrayal was still fresh, still humiliating.
Okay.
3 cycles ago.
Oh, sorry. That just needs a tiny bit more of a pause. Don't you think? All right, so we'll just do that.
Humiliating. 3 cycles.
Yeah, that's good. But now we've got this extra quiet, which you possibly can't hear, but like there's when it drops out here, obviously there's no recording. There's not even any background sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this special tricky thing where I just take, hang on. Yep, so that's a nice silent space, and I can double check that by changing my view to the multi-view. Yeah, that's some nice empty space, no breaths in there. Oh, a tiny little flicker here, but... And what we do is we are going to do a punch copy, apply. And so it's copy that, and then it's going to bridge this gap with as much of that as it needs. And if it needed to start duplicating that, it would just start duplicating it until it bridged the gap. It's amazing. Oh, yeah. I remember when I figured out what that was, because I was like, if only there was a way that I didn't have to keep on, like, just highlighting dead space and then copying it and then pasting it right next to it and then having to adjust the spacing between everything. Like, can I shift everything to the left now? Or like, I was just like, then when I found it, you have no idea. I was like 36 hours into a nearly non-stop edit of my very first audiobook. And I was running very close to the deadline, and I discovered what it was, and I was like, plus 10. I was like, this is amazing. It has saved me tens of hours over like the last less than a year, but I've been doing it for over a year. Yeah, it's saved me tens of hours, I'd say. Just this one trick alone. All right, so that's there now. Normal dead sound without being too silent. And now I'm just going to join it together, and it's like it never even happened. All right, so let's go again. Let's keep listening.
The betrayal.
Sorry, I usually just proofread as I go through doing the listen through, and then if it's something short like this, I'll listen to it again. I'm not going to listen to it again. All right, I'm just going to go through. We're taking away any obvious errors, and the rest, well, it's just going to be in there, isn't it? The reading itself is, it's okay.
The betrayal was still fresh, still humiliating.
The reading is about as trashy as the novel
3
deserves.
cycles ago.
And I love it.
The pleasure barge Lothlorian's embrace was all soft light and softer lies.
Ooh.
Eldarion had come thinking he'd walk away with secrets. Instead, he'd walked away with a broken nose and a heart stomped into the deck plating.
Oh no, not Eldarion.
You really thought I loved you? Luthien had laughed, her voice like poison.
I think she needs to be a bit snippier, which means that we're going to take away the gap between after what she says and...
You really thought I loved you? Luthien had laughed,
Better.
Her voice like poisoned honey.
Excellent.
She stood over him, her gown shimmering like liquid starlight, her new patron, some corpulent syndicate lord, smirking behind her.
We hate him.
You're a relic, Eldarion. A washed-up princeling with a stolen ship. Did you think I'd waste my future on you? The crowd had laughed, the kind of laughter that strips a man bare. Eldarion had spat blood, his voice raw. Then take this with you, traitor. And he'd recited the old verse, the one his father had taught him. Shakespeare, from a...
What was that?
Had taught him. Shakespeare...
Something there.
Had taught him. Shakespeare...
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it's not a normal breath. Something a bit unusual. Just put in some silence, see what happens.
Father had taught him. Shakespeare, from a time before the Exodus. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark. She'd rolled her eyes. Poetry? Really? Then she turned her back, and the syndicate enforcers had kicked him into the airlock.
How did he escape the airlock?
Now, in the present, Rock cracked his knuckles.
What was it with that pause?
In the present, Rock cracked...
Too much, bud. Alright, let's just see what that does.
Now, in the present, Rock cracked his knuckles.
Reintroduction of another character. Pause to make us remember who he is. Yeah, that'll do.
Rock cracked his knuckles. So, are we going to Ceres?
Oh, that's a misquote. Look, look.
Are we going to Ceres?
Not are we going to Ceres, it's we going to Ceres.
Are we going to... Are we...
I'm just going to try and do the cheat way.
Are we going to Ceres?
Nearly there.
Are we going to...
Yeah, that'll do. I mean, I'm not recording this for Audible, it's fine.
So, are we going to Ceres? So, are we going to Ceres?
It'll do.
Eldarion exhaled, long and slow. The Silmaril Matrix wasn't just a relic, it was a weapon. One that could...
Echo breath. It's like a breath echo. It's like I say, it's like the last split second of the word, it's repeating. It's like that bit. That little, did I say? Whatever the heck I'm doing there. It doubles it. Why does it double it? Why does it mimic it? Anyway,
A
duplicates
weapon.
it.
One that could reignite the lost fires of the Eldar. If
the Eldar. There. What the heck? Okay.
If the Eldar. If Onatar wanted it, the galaxy was already burning. Yeah, he said. We're going. The engines of the Nimrodel roared to life, and the void stretched before them, hungry, infinite, and full of thrones waiting to be shattered.
And here, just going to put in a bit of a gap.
Shattered.
Oh, what's that little? That mouth noise escaped it. Okay, we can do a spectral delete here. Now, so you can't. So this isn't just here on just the audio itself, like this plain old audio line. This is on the spectro, whatever you call it. Let's see what that does.
Added.
Let's take it back and see what it sounds like.
Added.
Oh, it's
Shattered.
This is the kind of thing where my wife would be like, "Why did you just spend 15 minutes on that?" But I want to get it.
Shattered.
Oh no, it's embedded all the way through here. That's a proper old lip smack. Ah, look.
To be shattered.
No, because I think we're going to put some background music with it. So no, I'm not going to bother doing it anymore. All right. Yeah, cool. Okay. Well, okay, I'll move the microphone back so you get to hear my voice, you poor bastard. Okay, right. So, right.
The Void of Lost Thrones.
Now we're going to find a backing track. Should we do a backing track? We don't have to. Let's just see what's out there. I usually use this guy. He's really cool when I'm looking for backing tracks for any YouTube stuff because it's royalty free. He makes it really easy to credit him, because it literally says here, for example, this one's called Lord of the Rings. This piece, and it literally says credit this piece by copying the following to your credit section. Okay, done. So all we have to do is that, and he's happy. And as long as he's happy, I'm happy. And I'm ever grateful to Kevin MacLeod because I don't know anything about him. But one of my clients was using this channel for their videos, and they mentioned it in the Discord, and I was just like, that sounds too good to be true. Just like a website, just a guy that just goes through and chucks all the stuff that he's made for his other clients, that is, all the stuff that he's just working on in his own free time, he just chucks it up. I don't really know what he does it for, but thank you, Kevin MacLeod, one of the greats. Okay, so we want something that feels mysterious, maybe a bit mystical and relaxed. We don't want eerie, we don't want grooving, we don't want intense. Okay, let's see what these guys sound like. Tenebrous Brothers Carnival, Mermaid. And we can actually test this out a little bit.
The Void of Lost Thrones. Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring.
It's pretty good.
The Nimrodel hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes.
That's pretty good. We like this. Okay. What about expeditionary? Expeditionary. Let's see what that sounds like.
The Void of Lost Thrones. Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring. The Nimrodel hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting.
It's okay.
Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Captain Aldarian Telconta, once heir to the House of Telconta, now just another smuggler with a price on his head, leaned over the holodisplay, his knuckles white. The message flickered in the dim light, its encryption peeling away like old paint.
It's good, actually.
The last shard of the Silmaril matrix is on Ceres. Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed. Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you. The signature was unmistakable.
I mean, this
Lord
one's good,
Arthur
though.
of the Golden Hand.
It's got the
The
spacey
same
feel to it.
bastard who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor Consortium. The same bastard who'd made sure...
Plus, it's long enough that it doesn't have to... I don't have to do anything to it, and I don't have to do much with it. Okay, so what we might do is we'll grab that here. We'll export that in. Export audio. No, import it in. Import audio. I don't think you can see that one. Okay, that's okay. Okay, here we go. So. We'll just quickly chuck a fade on. Yep, effect, fading, fade out.
Infinite, and full of thrones waiting to be shattered.
No. We want that music to go for a little bit longer. How much longer? Maybe like another 4 seconds or so. Okay, so that'll do it. So we'll start. Yeah, we'll fade that. Okay.
Thrones waiting to be shattered.
Yeah. It'll do. There's a lot of this I'm just going, yeah, it'll do. I'm not working too hard. If I really was loving it...
Like liquid starlight, her new patron, some corpulent syndicate all... You really thought I... 3 cycles ago. The pleasure barge Lothlorian's embrace was all soft light and softer lies.
What do we think of this? Should we change this to a party?
He...
Should we change that to a party? Like party music. Maybe this could be the... No. Look, we don't have the time. I've got to go to bed. So what we'll do now is we will leave that for now.
The Void of Lost Thrones. Chapter 1.
That's good, though.
The Fractured Ring. The Nym Riddell hung in...
Oh, that's good. I like... Did you hear that little, like the little chimes in the background?
The Fractured Ring. The Nym...
But we're going to wait until they cut out before we chuck the audio back in. Here we go.
Ring. The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a...
Yeah, just a bit more.
The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a...
What if I take it all the way?
The Nym Riddell hung in...
No, I liked it better before. Okay. Yep, and we'll bridge that gap. See, do you see with the backing track, you can cover up all manner of sins. In terms of the things like the background noise, like I don't even need to chuck in that background noise track, that backing track there. But I don't think it's called a backing track. I'll just call it a backing track. But I'm going to do it anyway. All right.
Thrones. Chapter 1. The Fractured Ring.
That's great.
The Nym Riddell hung in the black like a dagger waiting to be plunged into the heart of something unsuspecting. Her hull, scarred from 100 skirmishes in the belt, glinted dully under the distant gaze of a dying star. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and stale regret. Captain Aldarian Telconta, once heir to the House of Telconta, now just another smuggler with a price on his head, leaned over the holodisplay, his knuckles white. The message flickered in the dim light, its encryption peeling away like old paint. The last shard of the Silmaril matrix is on Ceres. Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed. Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just listening to it at this point.
Thrones. Chapter 1.
Oh,
The
no.
Fractured Ring. The signature was unmistakable. Lord Anatar of the Golden Hand. The same bastard who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor Consortium. The same bastard who'd made sure Eldarian's father died.
Is that too loud? That backing track's way too loud, isn't it? Let's reduce that. Let's see, how loud is it? 45. No, it's 16. So it's RMS. We go on RMS for the general level. So 16.05, like the overall level. So we'll just change that. We'll go volume and compression, loudness normalization, and we'll take it down to like, I don't know, 20. Minus 27.
The last shard of the Silmaril matrix is on Ceres. Bring it to me, and your name will be cleansed.
That's better.
Refuse, and the void will claim what's left of you. The signature was unmistakable. Lord Anatar of the Golden Hand. The same bastard who'd pulled the strings behind the fall of the Gondor Consortium. The same bastard who'd made sure Eldarian's father died choking on his own blood in 0G. Fuck, Eldarian muttered. His sidekick, Rock, a hulking half-Dunedain mercenary with a face like a smashed asteroid, grunted from the co-pilot's seat. Told you she'd sell us out. Eldarian didn't answer. He didn't need to. The betrayal was still fresh, still humiliating. 3 cycles ago. The pleasure barge Lothlorian's embrace was all soft light and softer lies. Eldarian had come thinking he'd walk away with secrets. Instead, he'd walked away with a broken nose and a heart stomped into the deck plating. You really thought I loved you? Luthien had laughed, her voice like poisoned honey. She stood over him, her gown shimmering like liquid starlight, her new patron, some corpulent syndicate lord, smirking behind her. You're a relic, Eldarian. A washed-up prince.
No, see, I think what we're missing here is, I think we do need to change the tone to match of the song.
3 cycles ago.
I think there, we're going to need to fade it out, and we're going to need to put another backing track on. But I got to go to bed, so we'll do that next time. All right, guys, thanks so much. We will pick this up where we left off. We're going to do this, and then we're going to move on to turning it into a video. It's going to be real simple. I'm just going to have a stationary picture in the background, maybe some effects over the top of it, just some overlays. Then we're going to chuck it up on YouTube, and if we get time, we are going to go back to our good old friend Sam Whale over here, and we're going to get him to write us the next chapter and have a little look at that. We might even do the initial recording. We'll see what we get done. We're just going to cycle through it. All right, so thanks so much for coming to the live stream, and like it says on my banner on my channel, we are just live streaming away the existential dread of impending middle age. So have a great time doing whatever the heck you're doing. And if you didn't catch this live stream, then yeah, you know, I'm always here. And I'm going to be trying to do this at least 2 times a week. So I'm not sure on particular days yet. If it's more, it's going to be a bit of a bonus at this point. It's going to be a bit haphazard until I manage to kind of pick up when people are up that are wanting to listen and watch. So, all right, once we figure that out, we can move on and we can start to get some regular slots going, and it will always be between, you know, these hours that I'm kind of up now. So, all right, hopefully talk to you soon. Cheers, mate, whoever you are, and I'll talk to you next time. Take it cheesy.